All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk a little bit. We go back to our little unit. We've got a couple things going on. Typically, the process of construction, we would go through the framing. After the wall's up, we would identify any type of ceiling framing that would need to be done. That would typically be done uh, upon completion of framing the walls. In this case, since we know that we don't have we're actually using roof trusses, we don't have to worry so much about our ceiling construction. So we literally don't have a ceiling construction. The bottom chord of our truss will actually become the ceiling framing. So we're going to skip the ceiling framing in this part. And once the ceiling is done, we would jump directly into roofs. However, what I want to cover now is we're going to talk briefly about the air infiltration barrier. On the exterior of the building, what we want to do is we want to protect the building from wind-driven rain and moisture and cold air. So what we typically use is, in the past we used to use a 15-pound building product for that, but typically we use a synthetic product. Mostly it would be a Tyvek type of product. The reason I want to talk about this now is because we've done a lot of the work that we need. What we'll be doing is we will be covering all of the exterior walls with that air infiltration barrier. So in order to figure out how much we need to purchase, we've got to figure out how many square feet we have. So again, to do this, we need to look at the square foot of the exterior of the building, and things should start get easier now that you've got a lot of numbers. We basically want to find the exterior square foot of the building, and that can come from the OSB / the sheathing that we've already identified. So you should have a total square foot number in your previous from the previous work that you've done. So when we're looking at, well, so I'll slide this down here, the air infiltration barrier. So when we're looking at this product, typically Tyvek or another type of air infiltration barrier comes in a 9-foot by 150-foot roll. So the challenge for us is that we need to determine how many rolls of Tyvek we need to order. So to do that, we need to figure out the square foot of the building, and then we need to figure out how much this will cover. So to do that, one roll at 9 by 150, 9 foot times 150, we know that one roll covers 1,350 square feet. So you're going to take the square foot of your building, divide by 1,350 square feet, and then we're going to add 10%. Because we do have a lap allowance, we've got to have 6 inches of lap at the corners. We'll have to have a lap from the gable end, at least a 4-inch lap from the gable end down to the wall. So we're going to add 10%. So we'll take this total once we're done, and we'll add 10%. So the total will multiply times 1.10. And that number will be the total plus waste that we can add into our air infiltration barrier area. And so we'll know exactly how many rolls we need, and we have to round up, we have to order whole rolls. For the square foot number, when we get to the square foot, really what we're doing is just paying to install. So we just need the square foot number from the building in that category, not the square foot plus the 10%. We're not paying people to install the waste that we're assuming that we have, or the extra lap. So we're looking strictly at the square foot of the building in that labor category. And then we're going to come over to our building papers section in the text. And what we're looking at is we've got felts, vapor barriers, air infiltration barriers, etc. We're going to do just a pretty traditional tack stapled, assuming it's not going to be too windy, and we're looking at 14 cents per square foot. So we can add that into our tally sheet at 14 cents, and again, that is a labor charge. I'm going to let you guys find and determine the cost of those rolls. You can feel free to use the product called Tyvek. It's a very common product. There are others. If you'd like to substitute something else out, you can definitely take a look at that.